It is Indiana in the Morning, presented by First Commonwealth Bank, WCCS AM 1160, FM 101.1. 8:45 in the morning. Malcolm Polley is with us. Linda Mitchell is with us. Downtown Indiana making a change in direction this week at its meeting, and they're here to discuss that with us. Linda, you're the new executive director.
Yes.
Malcolm, you're the president of the board of directors.
Yep.
And so downtown Indiana, a lot of what happened this week really goes back earlier in the year,
right,
to the IDIAA, the BID, the Business Improvement District.
Correct.
And its non-approval by downtown business owners, that really affected the way downtown Indiana could do business.
Correct. As many people know, that the original bid expired in August of 2016, and our downtown Indiana's responsibilities under that bid ended as of the end of 2016. So going into 2017, we set ourselves up basically to keep ourselves going, keep our nose above water, as I used telling people, live to fight another day, and prepare ourselves for working to reauthorize another business improvement district in a manner that hopefully settled some of the issues in terms of how the assessments were done, to raise some funds to help support downtown Indiana at a reduced level. The way that the legislation is written at the Commonwealth is that you need to have no more than 40% of the property owners vote against the bid.
Okay.
Unfortunately, more than 40% did. More than 50% were in favor, but more than 40% were against. And so that failed. Once that happened, the potential for revenue from that disappeared. So we really had to step back and rethink how we were going to approach downtown Indiana's activities going forward without that source of revenue. We then have to refocus again on membership, which prior to the bid in 2006, I think it was a membership-driven organization. Yeah. In addition to the revenues generated by some of the activities that downtown Indiana does. And as we looked at that, we really could not conceive of a way that we could continue to operate as we were with the number of staff members that we had. And so we really had to make a very difficult choice. We needed to reduce our staff count, and unfortunately, David was the person that was excused, and Linda, we thoroughly believed, had the skill set necessary to help us through this next evolution of our process.
Mm-hmm. So while that happens, of course, and you go through the process of deciding how you're going to operate as an organization, what you're going to be able to do on behalf of the business members.
Right.
You also look at the overall mission
right.
of downtown Indiana.
Right.
And Linda, you're the one tasked with helping to make the organization move forward and do what you're really designed to do.
Absolutely, and that's focus on promoting our downtown. We have a beautiful, historic downtown, and we really feel that it can be more of a regional draw, and that's what we want to work toward. We have a lot of plans for the coming year as far as getting back into the Main Street program, which we think will open up a lot of opportunities for the downtown, and continuing to make our events just bigger and better.
Yeah, so when we think about those events and the way that we've operated in downtown Indiana, I shouldn't say we, the way the organization has operated in downtown Indiana for the last 6 or 7 years now, and now moving forward, what are some of the things that we can expect will continue to go on? People want to know, okay, is this festival going to continue? Is that activity going to continue to happen? And how can downtown Indiana help to guide them through that whole process?
Right now, we're planning our normal slate of events, which are the bigger festivals. It's a Wonderful Life, the Northern Appalachian Folk Festival, and then we have our one-day events, which are Wine Walk, Oktoberfest, Taste and Tour. We have our winter warm-up coming up in February. Those we are planning to continue. Businesses we hope will still participate in them, the local restaurants, retailers. We're also going to continue our cooperative advertising, Downtown Dollars, and some of the other things that we do. When we lost the bid, one of the things that kind of went away is more of the maintenance type activities. So we won't, for example, we're not doing the snow removal right now. So those kind of things, unfortunately, are no longer funded.
And people will wonder about things like when the springtime comes and we get the flower boxes back up on the poles and
Right.
and things of that nature.
Right.
I think, Malcolm, one of the things that folks wonder about when something like this happens is, well, is the organization stable enough to survive? But since you are membership driven,
Right.
you can do what your members wish for you to do.
Correct. I mean, it's, of course, much easier when you've got a larger revenue source to do different projects. And we've really put a focus over the last few years. For instance, when I first came on the board 3 years ago, there were a number of things that were listed as fundraisers that didn't make money. And so one of the things I asked at the board level was, are these fundraisers or is this marketing? Well, the answer was, well, yes. In a membership-driven organization, you can't have fundraisers that lose money.
Yeah.
So we really have to refocus our efforts and ensure that the things that we do on behalf of downtown don't cost the organization Downtown Indiana dollars beyond what it costs to put it on. And in fact, we need them to raise additional dollars because they'll be funding sources for the organization.
Yeah. The overall aim of an organization such as Downtown Indiana is to enhance the business of the people who are its members.
Right.
And to do that, you do what we've done in Indiana in the last 10 years.
Correct.
You make this beautiful city that we have, and then you design events that are going to draw people to it. That's how you help your membership, and that's taking advantage of the wonderful resource that we have in this beautiful downtown and the entire borough.
Right. I mean, I come from a small town. My hometown is in northwest Iowa, in some ways similar to Indiana. It is the birthplace of a celebrity. In my case, it was Andy Williams. The difference being Andy Williams never came back to Wall Lake, Iowa. Mm-hmm. But what I remember about my hometown is it was a vibrant downtown. We had a bank downtown. We had a library downtown. We had restaurants. We had a hardware store. We had grocery stores. And we have much of that here in Indiana. We have a very vibrant downtown with good places to eat, things to do, and places to shop. I mean, that's kind of a misconception I know that I've seen out there, that there's nowhere to shop downtown. Well, my word, there are. There are women's stores, there are men's stores, there are all kinds of things that you can do and buy downtown.
Yeah. And Linda, that's your challenge, huh? Is
Yes.
to let people know just what downtown has to offer.
Yes, absolutely. We want people to know that you can come here and spend an evening or spend an afternoon with your kids, and there's things to do. You can visit the Jimmy Stewart Museum if you haven't been, and they change the exhibits all the time. You can come and meet friends for dinner. You can do your Christmas shopping.
Right.
There's a lot of unique stores, stuff that you're not going to find just by, paging through Amazon. Services, there are events. There's something always going on downtown. In fact, I grew up here. My husband didn't. We lived in Pittsburgh for a long time. And when he was retiring and we were going to come back here, he said, I'll go back to your hometown. I love it there, but we have to be in walking distance of downtown. And that's before I ever worked at Downtown Indiana, but he had fallen in love with the downtown so much that his one requirement was we have to buy a house where we can walk downtown.
And when you think about things to do in downtown Indiana, RNC Park on North 7th Street is a real key.
Yeah, it's always hopping.
Yeah.
There's something there every month.
Yeah. I mean, I think it would be very helpful if we could get that a full-time park, so people were walking and using it all the time as a park, and I think the businesses along there would be enhanced because people are using it for activities all the time. Right now, sometimes it's a street, sometimes it's a park, and it's hard to kind of coordinate activities there on a full-time basis.
So does that become a long-time goal of downtown Indiana, is to convince council and other folks that should be the direction for RNC Park on North 7?
I think part of what we need to do is really talk with the constituents to find out what is it they want to do. I mean, I know that there has been some talk from the borough about opening the park permanently. I know that there are some businesses that would prefer to have it open permanently rather than to close it every once in a while and people not know how to get to those businesses. It certainly would allow for more activities to happen on a constant basis because you don't have to pay for street closure. You don't have to do a permit to get something going on down there that involves all kinds of things that wouldn't have to happen if the park was open full time.
Yeah, would there be things to do in terms of infrastructure that would be required?
I don't know that there would be a whole lot of infrastructure investment.
Other than when we do close off RNC Park, the cones come out on Philadelphia Street to
Right.
prevent that turn
Right.
onto that street.
And I'd have to go back and look at the original plan as to what was put in place there. But I don't know how much infrastructure would be necessary.
You have a pretty good administration and board that is going to help
definitely.
guide you in that
Yes.
that decision making
Yes.
process.
Yeah,
Yes.
we have a tremendous board. We're very, very fortunate. And they're not just a board that sits in a boardroom. They're a board that rolls up their sleeves and gets to work. And that's really what you need.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
If I can put in a plug, we are having our annual meeting on Monday night, and there is still time and to come and join us. It will be at the Artist's Hand beginning at 5:30 on Monday evening. The heavy hors d'oeuvres will be catered by ICTC with their culinary students. Really good looking menu. We have some awards we're handing out. And if you're interested in joining us, you can call the Downtown Indiana office at
463-6110.
or you can go to the Downtown Indiana Facebook page or website and purchase your tickets on ShowClicks.
ShowClicks, yes.
Okay.
They're $35 a piece.
Yeah, and
Yes.
not just for people who are currently members.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously,
no.
you'd like those to go, but
Absolutely.
anybody can come.
This
Right.
is for anyone who wants to start the new year off with Downtown Indiana, hear about our plans for the coming year. As Malcolm said, we're honoring Kathy King, Joyce Sharman, and Amplify Church. So if you're fans of any of those folks, come on out. And if you just like good food, we're also having beer from Levity and wine from Woody Lodge. So if you just feel like Monday's
Yeah.
kind of a blah day and you want to come out and have some fun,
Right.
come join us.
And, there could be people who are White Township residents or
Oh, definitely.
businesses represented by White Township that say, okay, Downtown Indiana's planning this. How can we become a part of that and help them promote what they're doing, and they can help us promote what we can do that weekend?
Certainly. And-
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We have a residential member program, and it's
Yeah.
open to folks that live in White Township that just want to be supportive of the idea of a vibrant downtown.
Very good. Very good. Malcolm, Linda, thanks for coming in
Thank
to visit
you.
with us.
Thanks
Thank
for
you very
having
much.
us.
Downtown Indiana moving forward in 2018. It is Indiana in the Morning, presented by First Commonwealth Bank, WCCS, AM 1160 and FM 101.1.